Thank you for seeing me early.
This meeting is being recorded.
This meeting is being recorded.
Yeah, it is. I'm doing good. Apex Frequency, what's up?
Week 2.
Week 2, man. Day 3.
Yes. Yeah, correct.
Week 2.
Getting into it. I think I'd like to discover how it's good to be able to track progress. So one super easy and go-to way to track progress when it comes to weight loss journey is weight loss. Stepping on the scale on a weekly basis or daily basis, depending on the person. Are we doing that?
Yeah, jumped on today for the first time in a couple of days. Hasn't moved much. I guess, like you said last week, I guess that 5 initial pounds was just water weight. But yeah, it hasn't. I think I did the math. It budged like 2 pounds. But even then, that's a good week of eating right and good and decent portions, but very minimal activity. It's been a busy week for me, so I haven't been very active. So,
Okay. Well, here's the thing that I will say about tracking progress. It's beneficial to make sure that you're going in the right direction. I recommend stepping on the scale at the same time every week. So if you weigh yourself on Wednesday at let's say 10 o'clock a.m. on an empty stomach, then you do that same thing every week. And that way you're able to determine what changes have occurred from the week to the next week. With that being said, one thing that I want you to kind of be mindful of so far as we continue on in this process, there might be a week where the scale doesn't move at all, right? And that can be discouraging for a person, especially if the week leading up to that, they felt that they did everything right. The thing that I want to impart onto you is that there's always room for improvements and there's always opportunities to make adjustments. And when it comes to weight loss specifically, what works this week and produces results might not work next week and produces the same results.
Right.
The fact is that you're on the path of improving yourself and improving your physique and dieting and nutrition and all that stuff. But there's levels to it, right? So if you lose 2 pounds this week from, going to the gym 3 days a week and eating correctly 80% of the time, right? Which we can even once you get to the point, you're already sending me your nutrition on a daily basis, which is great. But once we get to that point where we want to start scrutinizing everything, there's always ways to optimize your nutrition, optimize your exercise to get the highest effect or the highest result that you want. So that's something to keep in mind. Yeah. How do we feel about from the week to week?
This week's a little tough. I've been under the weather past 2 days, so my body's just beat. But it's going good. It's going good. I'm feeling good. I feel like it's getting easier. And what I mean by that is less and less snacking. Granted, it's only fucking week 2, but less and less snacking. And my wife has been great on top of helping cooking, Hello Fresh meals and really looking out for me as far as good stuff to eat, and portion control and stuff like that. So I'm just looking forward to being a little less busy and not feeling like this so that I can be active, because that's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing when you have that full synchronicity of being able to be as active as you want and eating the stuff that that you should be eating, and all of a sudden the world just opens up. It's like, yeah, I'm doing the thing, and it's a wonderful feeling.
I did, I was down on myself for a moment, when I checked the scale, and I was like, fuck, did I make a mistake doing this now? And what I mean by that is my son's on summer vacation. And we have him a majority of his summer vacation. And so between work and, you know, having a child at home, it's like, man, when am I going to fit, you know, time to do a fit on exercise? When am I going to have time to go to LA Fitness, especially, you know, with my wife having the job that she does? She's out of town a lot. So it's not like I can say, you know, hey, hon, I'm going to run to the gym real quick. You know,
Right.
my son's 11 years old. I can't bring him with me to LA Fitness. He's too young to work out and he's too old to go to their kids club, you know, which was a conversation I was having with another buddy of mine at work who, you know, who's also kind of looking to get active and hit the gym, and he also has kids, and so we were talking about that. um but what was the point of me bringing that up? Yeah, so like I know I still got to make a couple of tweaks and adjustments, not trying not to allow them to fall under the category of excuses, because it's week 2 and I'm feeling good. Like I'm feeling like I'm doing good, you know. I My wife and I stepped out yesterday on like a little hang, and I felt like I felt good. And because I felt good, I felt like I looked good, you know, felt strong, you know what I mean? It's been 2 weeks straight and I've been, you know, like doing as many push-ups as I can a day. You know, I'm at work with my dumbbells doing as many, you know, doing squats with my full uniform on and doing bicep tricep stuff. So yesterday stepping out, I was like, oh man, like I don't feel as bloated. You know, I feel like I could see a little difference between my chest and my midsection. And then, like, you know, I was telling my wife the other day, you know, a little sore, you know what I mean? I'm feeling fucking strong, you know. So yesterday was much needed, especially because, like I said, I've been under the weather. So feeling good and feeling that, and then therefore feeling like I looked good
Yeah.
was needed. Because if I wouldn't have had yesterday, who knows how I would have woke up today, you know, feeling
Yeah.
like,
Step on
oh,
the
yeah,
scale. I'm like, yeah,
you know,
yeah, I get
you
it.
get it, you get it.
Yeah. Well, one thing that you said that I really appreciate is that you're already in the mindset of, you know, you don't look at things as, or at least what you just said is like, you're not looking at obstacles as excuses, but more so opportunities to make adjustments and tweaks. And
Trying to, because in the past, I mean, you know, I could be an excuse guy. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You know
sure.
that. You
Yeah.
know.
And
Uh,
excuses will take you all the way, you know, they'll take you all the way to nowhere. So, and I'm glad that you
mhm,
understand that.
yeah.
One quick solution that came up to me while you were talking, are you able to work out with your son, perhaps outside now that the
Oh yeah,
weather's
yeah, yeah,
nice?
yeah. That yeah, him and I, yeah, him and I. I don't know if I told you the other day. I was telling somebody. Oh yeah, he hit me out of nowhere with uh I was doing push-ups in the living room and like he got down to do some with me.
Nice.
Excuse me. I know, right? You know, and his form was all out of whack, so I was kind of helping him fix his form with some modified push-ups.
Yeah.
And like that just started like he, you know, he was like flexing. He like, let's get that's also how like the topic of the gym came up because he was like, you know, like, yo, let's get it. He was, and then he asked, he's like, oh man, like, can I go with you to the gym? I've had asked LA Fitness before because he's asked before. And I was like,
Mhm.
no, you know, it's 18, which I always thought was like 16, but it's 18. And
That's surprising because feel like I started at 16, but I don't know.
Same,
Yeah.
same, same. I was the first gym that opened in Left Rack City. I was in there as a teenager.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, but then the conversation led to like, let's get it. Like, let's, you know, and like, you know, the viewers and our followers can see on my gram, you know, we used to have family workouts and we used to have Kayevi boy workouts that I would post. And I was telling him, I was like, man, like you really want to get it? Like you're a big boy now. You know what I mean? He's 11 going on 16. I was like, you really want to get it with me? Cause I'm getting it. And he was like, yeah, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it. I was like, all right, we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna figure something out, schedule, routine, and we're gonna make it happen.
That's
You know,
awesome.
so yeah, that's already in the pipeline, you know.
Okay. Well, that's very exciting.
Yeah, it is. It is. Another motivating thing. Another
Yeah.
motivating, you know.
Yeah. You spoke briefly about your eating. Would love to get further into that. It sounds like you're doing HelloFresh recently. How's that going?
So we've always done HelloFresh, but
Mhm.
with those familiar with HelloFresh, like you can pause monthly, right, or something like that. So we've
Mhm.
always done HelloFresh, but then we'll also go months with like pausing and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And my wife forgot to pause it recently, so they came in, and not that before HelloFresh we were not cooking and eating right, but
Mhm.
it was like, oh, this helps instead of fucking figure something out ourselves, or someone like me, and I know you guys have discussed this on her episodes. I'm not a big mul numerous day eating the same thing type person. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So instead of rice and the ground turkey or eggs, which I've been eating that a lot, eggs and protein pancakes. It's been nice to switch it up. Yeah, so it's been just a couple of days that we've had the HelloFresh, but
Mhm.
we were like, oh yeah, like might as well not skip it. Might as well utilize it because the portions are good and they're great meals and they come with all. I think I sent you yesterday's photo
Mhm.
and the card info, which that also helps. Not only for me, but then to send you. You know what I mean? So yeah, it looks like we'll be sticking with the HelloFresh for a while.
Well, that's awesome. HelloFresh
Yeah,
is great. I used to do
yeah,
HelloFresh back in I think around COVID. I was doing HelloFresh.
yeah.
Um, Still
And then
haven't started.
and imperfect fruits. Have you heard of them?
No, I have not. Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Where they send you
yeah.
bruised fruit?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
I've heard of that.
same thing. We used to do that for a while, and just thinking about it now, might even go back to that. Because I'm a big smoothie guy,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and I do get my smoothie mix from Costco. But the other day I was going through like my protein stuff, which I'll also send you that. I'm just different things that I can use to mix it up and not get bored of like this eating, because
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing that I don't want to do. I don't want to get bored with the eating, because then if I get bored with the eating, I feel like,
Let me do
you
something
know,
else.
yeah, or no, or like, let me mix it up. Let me fucking do a burger or a pizza a couple of days.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to talk to you about that. That was actually kind of the focus that I wanted to place on this week's consultation. Um, since I know you and you've been sending me your daily nutrition each day, which I appreciate. Um, I want to turn the whole process of when I first started doing nutrition, when I first got into it back in 2021, my girlfriend and her roommate, they were telling me to call it a live it, instead of a diet, call it a live it, because dieting is like, oh, you're dieting, you're dying, Living is like you're living, and this is like the lifestyle, right?
No,
I
that's
don't have to use words like that anymore because I'm 3 years in, but I do fully look at my daily routine of eating as a lifestyle, right?
mhm,
And through that, I make it because like I also want to be stimulated. Granted, I can definitely eat the same things each day and knowing that this is like for a purpose, but there's still opportunities around that to kind of be stimulated and make it more fun. So the thing that I want to talk to you about is so the stuff that you've been sending me, I've been noticing that there doesn't seem to be as much protein. Granted, you haven't started tracking your calories yet, even though last week you said that you're going to download the app and start doing so. That hasn't happened yet.
right,
But like I said, when we had our consultation last week, I didn't say it was a necessity.
right, right.
What I did say was a necessity was for you to start sending me your food, and you have been doing that.
Yeah,
Um, I'll circle back around to the fact that calorie tracking is the next step. I'm not saying it's a required step again, but it is the next step to fully understanding exactly what you're eating and being able to it's just science at that point. It's just
yeah.
science and math. Again, it's calories in, calories out. So I did some math for you in preparation for today's consultation. When we met last week, you said that you were at around 260.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here's the bro sciencey way of figuring out how to place yourself in a caloric deficit, right? So let's take me, for example. I am currently 197 pounds, right? If I were to take that and multiply it by 10, it would come out to 1,970. So the theory is, and this is proven, there's just better, more scientific ways to calculate this number. But if I were to take the body weight that I'm currently at and multiply that by 10, that would give me the amount of calories I should eat to maintain a caloric deficit.
Okay.
So long story short, if I'm eating 1,970 calories a day, then I should lose weight, right? And then it gets to the point where, let's say I've lost 10 pounds and I'm now 187 pounds. Well, what should I do then? Multiply that by 10,
Yeah.
and now I'm at 1,870, right?
Okay. So mine is 20. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So you got what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I've noticed from the nutrition that you've been sending me is you're definitely not hitting 2,600 calories. You're definitely not hitting that, which is fine. That's fine. But we want to make sure that your body is getting the proper nutrition. Now, there's plenty of science out there that suggests that, the FDA recommended amount of calories that a person should eat is overestimated. And in fact, that a person can sustain themselves on far less, like let's say 600 or 800 calories, which on some days you have been sending me that. Again, fine, because the goal is weight loss and there's nothing proven that states if you eat 800 calories a day that you're malnourished. To me, it looks like a malnourishment because I'm all about like optimizing everything and all that stuff. Okay, so with that being said, I want to get into the breakdown of your protein. So again, this is just an estimate since you haven't been sending me your calories in total. I'm estimating that on average you're eating about, based off of what you sent me, around 1,600 calories, maybe 1,800 calories on a daily average, right? From that 1,800 calories, again, average, it appears to me, based off what you're sending me, you're getting like 90 grams of protein, if that. And the game that I kind of want to impress upon you, because I understand that you get bored with eating the same thing, is figuring out how you can increase your necessary amount of protein in order to retain your muscle from the different protein sources that are available. Because when it comes to weight loss, there's really only one macronutrient to focus on, and that's protein. Carbohydrates and fat are not a priority when it comes to the other shit that you're putting into your body so far as calories. You have to get your protein in order to make sure that you don't shrink in muscle. And just to make it as clear as possible, you could continue on this current diet where, like, let's say you're eating around 1,600 calories, right? And you're only getting like 90 grams of protein, if that. And you will continue to lose weight. And you will see it in the mirror. Your face will get thinner. Your body will it will lose tissue. Not all of that tissue will be fat. That's just period.
I'm aware.
The more protein you eat, the less muscle tissue you will lose when you are on a caloric deficit. And that's why the concern when I talk about an extreme caloric deficit, like the one that I've observed you being on, again, you're not going to die from like eating 800 calories a day. Like that's not going to happen, but you will lose tissue. You will lose lean tissue. So yeah, you'll lose weight. You're going to lose muscle. You're going to lose fat, and you're also going to lose muscle. And it's also suggested that a person really should only lose 1% of their body weight per week. That's like the healthy weight loss. And if you think about it, that's pretty low
Yeah.
Another way to equate that is when you get to, I don't know, in like the percentages that I'm at, like let's say I'm at 12% body fat, I really should only lose 1 to 2 pounds of fat a week. If I lose anything more, for one, I'm not losing fat, I'm losing muscle. And that's not the goal. Our goal is not to lose muscle. So for you, maybe since you're at a higher body fat percentage, you might lose more fat per week. But again, it goes back to, you really should only aim to lose 1% of your body weight per week. Okay. And the way that we accomplish that is by making sure that you're getting enough calories and getting enough protein to make sure that you're retaining your muscles. Another thing is working out consistently, because that will stimulate your muscles and encourage them to stay and grow and yada, yada, yada. Okay. Am I throwing a lot of information at you?
Yeah, but like good info, of course. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is recorded, so it works out.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. All right. So we already outlined that 2,600 calories would be like the sweet spot. You could come in lower. I wouldn't advise you to go in higher.
Right.
And again, since we're not tracking these, we're estimating, but that's a beautiful number. 2,600, that's beautiful. You can eat a lot of food with 2,600.
I guess just thinking about it off the top of my head, I guess maybe why, you know, and I don't remember if I said this last week. Once again, despite how big I am, I don't have the craziest appetite. You know,
Right.
I'm not fucking hungry all the time every day,
Right.
and so therefore I'm not fucking stuffing my face. But I guess you know, I do know, you know, just like everyone else, I do know when I am active every day, then of course I'm more hungry, you know. So hopefully once I start being a little more active and my hunger kind of gets up there, I'm sure I'll be eating more, you
Okay.
know.
Okay.
But yeah, like as of now, I'm just, you know, because I'm sending it to you, you know, you know, I'm good with like eggs, you know, protein pancakes, which has been a staple in our household for years. Uh, you know, my fruit smoothies, um, and then yeah, whatever else I'm eating, you know.
I got it.
So, yeah. I'm gonna have to really figure out a good breakdown on the 26. How can I get there? Yeah, because I don't know, man. That might kind of sounds like a lot of food, but I don't know if it is, you know. So
Well, I broke it down a little bit further, because again, when it comes to the prioritization of how many calories you're eating, the first thing to focus on is, again, your protein, right?
mm,
So you know, there's that popular theme out there that you eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, right? So that
okay,
would have you eating 260 grams of protein, right? Now that's considered on the high end. That's literally the bodybuilder
yeah,
method, where it's like, if you're trying to like build mass and get bigger, especially if you're on a deficit and you're eating less calories than you're burning, then, you know, 1 gram per pound is the way to go in order to ensure that you lose the least amount of muscle, if any at all. Or you can gain muscle depending on the person's genetics and body composition and yada, yada, yada. So that's 260. That's pretty fucking high. In fact, where you at?
sorry,
Oh, that's cool. In fact, so I did some quick math. 260 grams of protein. I did, like, let's say, what if Vito were just to eat chicken breast in order to get his 260 grams of protein? Do you know what that comes out to for a full, like, if you were to eat only chicken for your 260 grams of protein, that would come out to 30 ounces of chicken. Now, to break that down, that's a little under 2 pounds of chicken. And that would be your protein for the day. So imagine eating 2 pounds of chicken every day. And then everything else, and just so you know, that caloric amount comes out to 1,471. So 2 pounds of chicken would be 1,471 calories, which, if we're going off of the 2,600 calories that you should be eating or less, you have 1,200 calories left to eat whatever you want.
Yeah.
Not even saying that you need to eat them, but again, it's just giving you an idea as to like what you have to work with. I want to equip you with like the knowledge of like, okay, you got what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the cool thing is, and again, this is something to play with since you talk about not really having an appetite, which is great for a person who wants to lose weight. So like if you're thinking, all right, I don't have much of an appetite, what do I want to eat? Well, answer yourself the question, what kind of protein do I want to eat? Instead of asking yourself, what do I want to eat, since you don't have much of an appetite, what kind of protein do you want to eat? And then we can go over those options such as cheese, Greek yogurt, chicken, beef, salmon, tuna, beans, protein pancakes, protein shake, whey protein, yada, yada, yada. And it goes on and on and on. And again, as you go through the day moving forward, you should always be asking yourself that question: what kind of protein do I want to eat, right? And now this is when it becomes, in my opinion, it becomes fun. Once you get all your protein, or once you know exactly where your sources of protein are coming for the day, that's when you grant yourself the opportunity to think of what else you want to eat. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying that you have to start the day and then, like, let's say tomorrow's Thursday, and you have to eat only protein. And then when you hit your 260 gram calorie, by the way, and just to be a bit more manageable, yeah, so 260 grams, that would be like the high end, and that's for like bodybuilder shit, if like you're trying to like become like fucking Jack Diesel and shit like that. But the more moderate amount of protein that you should be eating based off of your body weight would be 187 grams of protein. Now, that would promote muscle retention and perhaps muscle growth while on a caloric deficit.
This is all info that you'll be willing to email me, right? To share?
Absolutely.
So I have my notes. Okay.
I got it written down.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see you reading it. Yeah. I'm just
Yeah.
asking.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, the more recommended and not the extreme amount of protein that you should be eating while on a diet would be 187 grams of protein. That would promote muscle retention while losing weight. Okay. So what I'm saying is, let's say tomorrow starts. One thing that I'm a big fan of, and you know, I've been doing this for 3 years, I like to plan what I'm eating in advance. So like tonight it's 8 o'clock. So after I finish our call, I'm going to get on my little calorie tracker and I'm just going to start putting in food that I want to eat tomorrow. And the first thing I'm going to start with is, what protein am I eating tomorrow? So I'll put in 2 Greek yogurts. I'll put in 8 ounces of chicken breast. I'll put in 2 pouches of those tuna creations with 15 grams of protein each, right? All of a sudden, I'm already at 100 grams of protein and I still need 80 grams more. You got what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So then once that's done, once the protein is out of the way and I know exactly what I'm eating for protein, I see how many calories I have left. Let's say it's like for me, because I'm only able to eat like I'm eating 1,700 calories a day when I'm being perfect. So by the time I get all of my protein needs out of the way, I only have like 600 calories left to really spend on other shit. And I typically spend it on carbohydrates because I'm looking to be as full as possible, and carbohydrates make me feel full. So I'll be attacking black beans, I'll be attacking rice, potatoes, sweet potatoes, and I always get spinach in there because spinach is good for you and greens are important. That's when you start getting into micronutrients, which is like another story entirely. But with you, if you don't have much of an appetite and you're not feeling hunger pains all the time, then my encouragement would be for you to focus on getting your protein first, which would be 187 grams of protein per day. And then from there, see how many calories you have left and then eat whatever the hell you want. That would be my recommendation.
I can figure that out. That sounds easy enough.
Yeah. Now, again, this is in contrast to like the shit that you have been sending me, where, you know, what I get like from the profile, like if I didn't know you, right, and someone's just like sending me the stuff that you eat, you just look like a nibbler. You look like a nibbler, like a snacker, oh, I'm just gonna snack on these chips and I'm gonna snap on these cookies, and like there's no like I don't see intentional eating a lot. I don't see a lot of intentional eating. I see like grazing. Like, this is tasty. Let me put this in my mouth. This is tasty, which I get.
Yeah.
But again, this incentive, what were we gonna say?
No, I was gonna say outside this 8-week program, at least at work, that's how I am. You know, because for 8 hours, 8 to 12 hours a day, I'm in and out of my office, in and out of my chair. So when I'm in my office on my chair, I'm watching YouTube. And yeah, I'm doing a lot of fucking snacking on little things.
Sure.
But, you know, we're 10, 11, 12 days in, and I've totally eliminated the snacking.
Good.
Yeah, but it's funny that you say that. It looks like a nibbler, because I'm thinking I'm sending, you know, full meals, you know, 3 scrambled eggs.
That stuff is great.
Turkey bacon, fucking a salad yesterday, and you know, fucking yeah.
I love that stuff. I'm more so paying attention to the 2 bags of chips and the cookies and, you know, like stuff like that.
Soft serve yesterday,
yeah, the soft serve. That was like multiple things in, you know, one day, which again, it still looks like you're coming in a deficit, which is more important than anything. But just take it a step further and start focusing on your protein, and then still continue to come in on a deficit. Because that, I think, will really change your perspective on nutrition. Because again, it's like a retraining of your mind. Right now, your mindset is just like eat less than you burn, which is great, fantastic. Like, or just to summarize, like don't eat so much. You know, like you're on a weight loss program. You're like you're losing weight. Don't eat as much as you used to eat. Just that simple, right? That's
slash the shitty shit, you know?
Yeah, the shitty shit shouldn't be eaten all the time. But one thing that you should know, and I'm sure you've heard this before, but you could lose weight eating nothing but McDonald's.
Yeah. So years ago, you know, before I met you, when I was powerlifting with a buddy of mine, that was like one of the things that he strongly lived by. Like, oh, you can eat, you know, like we were eating frozen pizzas and McDonald's and a whole bunch of junk shit. But at the same time, we were fucking running miles every day, lifting for hours a day, you know? So yeah, so I am aware of that. At some point, you know, you can get to the point where, you know, yeah, you can eat things, as long as you're exercising and
oh yeah.
I'm not there yet. I hope to get there to where I can eat a smash burger with my son and not feel guilty, because it was delicious, but I felt like, fuck, you know, I can't even go a fucking week without eating a fucking burger, you know? But yeah, I definitely want to get to that point where I can eat a burger, fucking have a soft serve, and not feel guilty about it.
I get it. Well, another thing to keep in mind, again, it's all about like portion control. So if you were to have that smash burger and that soft serve, let's say it comes with a side of fries, that whole thing comes out to, I don't know, if I had to roughly estimate, the burger alone was probably like 800. I'm just estimating. Fries probably 500, maybe even 600. So we're at 1400 plus the soft serve. Soft serve is probably 500. So that comes out to around 1,800 calories altogether. Still puts you in a deficit. But what are you eating outside of that in that day? You know, if that's the only thing that you're eating,
then
in a sense, you could consider the day a success. In a sense, the purpose of this conversation is me encouraging you to take it one step further. The day's not a success until you hit your protein. That's when you get to decide, like, okay, am I done eating for the day? Or can I budget something else into my diet that still has me coming in below my maintenance needs? Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I
And
appreciate it. Last week or the other day, man, you gave me a bunch of good recommendations of I don't even want to say snacks, but like, both what you recommend me? Both like the tuna packs as a lunch thing, and then those yogurts. Those yogurts were really good. I'm
great.
probably gonna grab some more tomorrow. But yeah. So I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, you can do a lot. Like I was putting granola in my yogurt, and that
Yes,
really
yeah.
created a crunch. I stopped doing that because when I'm really in the deficit, every 10 calories counts. Um, because it's like when I get to these low numbers of like 1700, like, so I can't afford fucking granola, unfortunately. I wish, which is why I'm saying, like, actually use this opportunity of like, if you're allowed to eat 2,600 calories, get your protein each day. And then if you have 1,000 remaining or 600 calories remaining, do with it what you want, or don't go to sleep without eating that additional 600 calories, which is what you've been doing. You're just not adding in the protein. So this is just like another step.
Yeah. Yeah. Wins. Moral
Yeah,
wins.
man.
Win.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, it goes back to tracking calories will change your thinking around how you eat. What I notice with people who do calorie tracking, and again, I'm a victim of it too. It's like when you're on the days that you're tracking, you're just in it, you're just like, do, like, oh,
Dude, it's so, and like, not once again, here I am with fucking excuses. I don't remember when it was, a couple of days ago, maybe when you sent me the links, I was thinking about it, or the day after you sent me the links, I was thinking about it. And it's like, man, that is so fucking tedious. Knowing somebody like you that does it, my wife does it. Yesterday, I'm at a fucking baseball game, and instead of enjoying the game, my wife is tracking her fucking calories. And it's like, and I know I got to get into that mode and that mindset. I will. It's just like, damn, that is,
think about it like this, think about it like this. It's on your phone. I think it's the word tedious. I think you got to change your mind around, is it really tedious or is it fun?
Yeah, it's fun. If I could be on YouTube and fucking Netflix all day, and I could
Exactly.
do that. Yeah.
Exactly. Because honestly, for me, when I'm really in it and like I'm just like right now, the issue that I'm currently having, and I'll come fucking clean. The issue that I'm having is free food. I am
Free
I
food.
am free food. So I work at a job. I have a day job. I go to work in an office. And the issues that I've been having is like for the past like string of couple of weeks, there have been these like work related social events where like they have like free happy hour and like orders coming out the fucking wazoo out of like Perch.
Yeah.
Yeah, in
It's
LA,
on the book.
downtown LA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was at Perch 2 Tuesdays ago, right? After a work company seminar thing, right? And we're on the rooftop. They're bringing out like I had like 3 margaritas that were not, that it wasn't on the plan. They were bringing out like flights of sliders and crab cakes and shit like that. And I caved. And in
Yeah.
those moments, it's like, oh man, this is not part of the plan, but you know, so like that's the issue I'm having is like free food.
Wow, another moral win, free food. So I work for a family, right? And they have their own cooks, they have their own chefs. And one of the chefs actually walked to my office today out of nowhere. And I'm thinking he fucking needs something. So I go out to meet him. And he offered me lunch. He was like, "Hey, I'm cooking for everybody. You want to come in? You want to play?" And first of all, I was surprised, because they'll sometimes they feed us. It's not all the time, but I was like, "No, thank you, man. I'm good." And he's like, "You sure? It's good, man. We're grubbing." I was like, "No, I'm good, man. I'm doing something right now, you
Hell
know."
yeah. Hell yeah.
And but yeah, usually I'm saying, I mean, me with free food, I'm all in. Um, but yeah, man, 13 days in and offered some really good lunch, and and he walked away, and I went back in my office, fucking feeling myself a little bit.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a win,
Yeah.
honestly.
Oh, and once again, man, and I said it last week. For me, someone who can snack and someone who has a you know what I mean, like, you know, these past couple of days, whether it's one soft serve yesterday, whether it's 2 bags of chips and a bag of cookies the other day, these are all little, it's within my mind, within myself. I'm like thinking little by little, I'm chopping these bad habits. I'm chopping
Yeah,
these bad habits.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? I've always been a water drinker, especially at my job. That's all I do all day: coffee and water, coffee and water. But
Mhm.
now I'm tracking my water, and I'm thinking like, holy shit! I've always known I drink a lot of water, but holy shit, I'm drinking four, 4 or 5 regular cups of water. I'm tracking my 28-ounce shaker cup. I'm drinking 5 of those a day. Thinking, man, I'm drinking a lot of water here,
That's
And
awesome.
then, like I said, just throughout the entire day, man, just like doing things like push-ups, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm
yeah.
feeling good.
You're in the mindset, and now it's like when these decisions come up throughout the day and like they're unexpected moments of like, hey, you want to do this thing that you would normally do? Nah, because I wouldn't. That's not me anymore. Like I'm not doing that anymore. I'm doing something else.
Mhm.
I am on a different track. So
Mhm.
yeah, and at this point, it's all about navigating this new path, which you're already doing well,
Yeah.
and adding more into it so you can be more efficient.
Yeah.
And I know that you look at calorie tracking as tedious. That's a way of looking at it. That's a perspective that can be changed. But there's a lot of discipline and regimen that can come as a result of planning your meals in advance and knowing exactly what you're going to eat that upcoming day, and then just sticking to that. It feels like a reward when you actually achieve, like, all right, this is exactly what I'm eating tomorrow, and you eat exactly that or less, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you know,
Which is already kind of in our lifestyle. I work during the week. I'm up at 5 for work. So we're cooking, preparing, and packing
mm-hmm.
my lunch, breakfast day before. My wife likes to do the same thing, whether like yesterday, she cooked all the Hello Freshes just to have them ready for the week. Yesterday's dinner, today's lunch, whatever it is. Um, so yeah, looking ahead and cooking ahead. We're ready to do that. That's good. And yeah, man, this is I'm feeling I'm feeling good, man.
Yeah, man, I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. And
So
listen, and even God is in my favor. Father's Day, right? After we did all you can eat Korean barbecue, I was feeling good. I said, hey, let's go get some ice cream. Let's go get some Jenny's ice cream, Daddy's favorite ice cream in LA.
mm-hmm.
And we went there, and all of a sudden, there's a sign on the door saying we're closed. And I was like, was I
That's
bummed out? Maybe for a moment.
yeah.
By the time I got to the car, I was like, all right, cool. It was meant to be. Because
That's
Lord knows if that door was open, Daddy would have fucking had a Sunday, you
of
know?
course, of
Yeah.
course. I
You
get
know?
it. Well, I'm glad that you didn't like, because me, when I get on like the one track mind, it's like, oh, I'm getting my ice cream. It's like, all right, what's the next thing?
No, and I think I came home and I had the strawberry thing. I don't remember, but yeah, that was another thing. You recommended or like reminded me about that Halo brand ice cream.
Mhm.
Uh I've been doing that. I mean, I haven't had anything sweet today, so that's what I'm having tonight is some
That's
Halo ice
awesome.
cream.
Okay.
But yeah, man, we're doing it, man. We're doing it, and what's really helping me is you and the family, like I mentioned earlier. And I know I could be a little bummed out that the progress is slow, but I'm not trying to think like that. I'm not trying to be hard
Yeah.
hard on
Plus,
myself.
again, it goes back to like looking at it as a lifestyle. So as long as you're going in the right direction, it doesn't matter how quickly you get there, because you have the rest of your life to perfect this. And there is no true perfection in life. There's only the aspiration for that. So That's what we're doing. We're chasing our versions of perfection. You know that I'm very passionate about this, which is why we're talking about this very topic. So I'm happy to assist in whatever way that I can.
Yeah, I love it, man. And
Yeah, bro.
like your LA homie said, man, this is a live it, not a diet.
Exactly.
That's exciting. That's exciting.
Cool. I think this brings the recording to an end. Good stuff. I'm gonna hit the
Hit
stop button.
like and subscribe. Wave the
Exactly.
shred. Website out now.
Yeah.